Hey, I'm Steven, and I'm about to go see the new Pet Semetary. I will catch you after the credits.
I remember my birthday party. Church was out on the road. And everything went black.
It's okay now. Are you back?
Back from where?
Okay, so I'm gonna get this out of the way. I've never seen the original Pet Semetary, I've never read the book, so this was a completely fresh perspective for me. I have nothing to compare this to except for this one Family Guy clip.
Oh my God, he's dead! He can't be dead! There's gotta be something I can do! Maybe I'll bury him in the pet cemetery. Okay, I'll bury him in a regular cemetery.
So, I guess the only thing I really have to compare it to is the fact that I saw It a couple years ago, which was another Stephen King horror film, and I haven't read that book, I haven't seen the original of that, so I've got nothing to compare that to, so I actually really liked that one. It wasn't scary. It was fun, though. I really enjoyed it, and this one actually put me on edge. I really thought that it was a good suspense, I can legitimately say horror movie. It wasn't the most terrifying movie I've ever seen, but it was good. And so it kind of starts off like this family, they've got no time, the dad has like no time to spend with his family, so they move out to the country for a smaller job, just a smaller town. They can have fun together, they can get back to their roots, and reasonable. They move to this town where they see this kind of ritual going on of these kids taking their pet to the pet cemetery, and I think it's supposed to be like some sort of old native ritual. This brings John Lithgow's character, whose name is escaping me, because I love John Lithgow so much that when I see him I just get so excited. He's one of my favorite actors, but he doesn't show up in a lot anymore. If he ever really showed up that much to begin with, I really love him in Third Rock from the Sun, and I watched him in quite a few movies. A little note, the cat in this movie is named Church. I'm pretty certain that's probably true in the book as well. They say he's named after Winston Churchill, and the little girl, Ellie, looks up at the man, John Lithgow's character, and says, "He's named after Winston Churchill, a guy who lived a really long time ago. Do you know him?" He said, "Oh, I know Winston Churchill," which, if I'm not mistaken, John Lithgow actually played Winston Churchill on the Netflix series The Crown. I think that's right. So I laughed a little bit. I don't know if that was intentional, but I'm sure they knew. But basically, the premise of Pet Semetary is the Pet Semetary itself doesn't have any issues. It's a little place for people to go remember their pets and everything. It's what's beyond in this wander through this god swamp, and if you bury something in there, it comes back. It comes back to life, but it comes back different.
The local tribes carved them before they fled. They fear that place. There's something up there. Something that dates way back. Those woods belong to something else.
And first off, like, there was some really good foreshadowing, I guess. Granted, like, I knew about what the Pet Semetary was through media, through pop culture. I know what all of this is, but I didn't know everything that was going to happen, so I was actually really enjoying the movie. I can say what's in the trailers. You see the cat dies, and they bring that back to life. They decide that, like, it's gonna be okay, like, this cat really loved Ellie, it'll come back fine, it'll be fine. But it, like always, it comes back wrong. It hisses, it scratches, you can tell there's just something evil behind it. And then also in the trailers you see that Ellie passes away. She gets hit by a truck, which is pretty well foreshadowed in the movie. It's almost told. You don't know it's going to be Ellie, but if you've seen the trailers, you do. And they decide, like, John Lithgow's character looks at the dad and says, "Don't do it. I know what you're thinking. Don't do it. She'll come back wrong." I thought the cat would come back. When I did that with my dog, the dog already had a mean spirit. We had to put it down, but I thought that was why it kind of happened. But if the cat, who had a good nature, comes back, then it's not worth it. The dad, of course, does it anyway, and Ellie comes back. And you can this girl goes from one of the sweetest little girls you've ever seen to legitimately creepy. Like, things happen, and she kills somebody, and she just gives this almost playful, innocent giggle after, and it sent shivers down my spine. It was awful. A lot. Like, this is probably one of the scarier. Like I said, it's not the scariest movie I've ever seen, but of suspense, like, it had me on edge quite a few times. I would highly encourage anybody interested in seeing this movie to go out and check it out. There were twists, like I said. I never read the book, I've never seen the original, so I don't know if you've been involved with those, how well this holds up, but from a fresh perspective who's never done either, there were twists in it that I didn't expect. Like, basically from the first third is fairly normal. You can tell something is off, but nothing really happens until you kind of get to that second third, and that's where things really start getting dark and twisted. And then you get to that last third, and I just have no idea what's going to happen anymore. I think I know where it's going, and then it kind of takes a little turn and scares me again. And now I never like jumped out of my seat. It's the only thing that really like made me super cringe. Anything that has to do with gore always kind of sets me off, and I have to go like this, not because I'm scared, but because like I don't want to see some of this stuff, and it gets twisted, and there's never any reason for like CGI or anything. This is all like practical effects. Not that even that's that necessary. It's very low. This could be a low budget film if they wanted it to be. I don't know what the budget was, but it's definitely not. When you compare something, I just saw Dumbo, where the animals are all CGI in that movie. Before that was Captain Marvel, where Marvel superhero movies are always big, blockbuster, super high-tech effects, everything going on. This was a story of people in the woods, and everything could be done with makeup and some special, like actual like special effects, not visual CGI effects, and I really appreciated that. It really kind of kept the movie grounded and feeling pretty real, and I think that's why it kind of kept me on edge. I really enjoyed this. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10, and say, if you enjoy horror movies, definitely check it out. Like, this has been one of my more favorable horror movies. I haven't seen very many horror movies in theaters. Last one I think was I saw A Quiet Place. That was probably my last one. But before that, it was probably it. So take that for what it's worth, and I will tell me if you're gonna see it. Tell me if you did see it. Tell me what you thought. Tell me if you're not gonna, like, why you didn't see it. And I will catch you at the movies.
What's going on?
Hug your daughter.
I should never have shown you that place. Your child is not the only thing that will come back. Sometimes dead is better.